How's it going, guys? How are you all doing? Man, I'm so sorry. I haven't done a video. On here in a long time. Just been having a messy and busy schedule. Um, just been working through things. So yeah, I've been wanting to talk about Daredevil Born Again for a very long time now. I just really sometimes I want to talk about it, sometimes I don't. With this show, I have a really mixed feeling about it. I felt like Daredevil Born Again had so much wasted potential I've ever seen in a show. Just felt very conflicting. Felt like contrived mess at times. There were some stuff I liked and a lot of stuff I didn't like. Yeah, I always felt killing off Foggy within the first 15 minutes of the first episode was a bad call. Um, a lot of people didn't like that decision. Um, yeah, I've seen a lot of mixed opinions about it on social media. Um, yeah, this isn't the show that we fought to bring back for the past 7 years. It didn't feel like it. It felt like a complete different thing than how it was in the Marvel Netflix version, which to me it should have never been canceled in the first place. To me, Daredevil should have been concluded the right way, the way the people behind the show wanted it to. Unfortunately, the wrongful cancellation that happened back in 2018 made this thing happen. Um, what I did like about it was the Matt's lawyer side. To Yeah, it was explored a lot throughout the season. It felt like a Law and Order type um, type show, but at the expense of Daredevil, where like after Matt pushed Bullseye off the building of Josie's after what happened with Foggy, he does quit Daredevil for the past year, um, and which kind of dragged the show to a halt because you have to wait until episode 6 for him to be Daredevil again. Originally, it was supposed to be episode 4, but it was episode 6, and it was dragged out way too long. Yeah, this stuff with the supporting cast was pretty bad. Um, I do not care about the supporting cast at all. They're inferior versions of what we've seen with Foggy, Karen, Marcy, Brett, Ellison. Um, Especially the minor characters from the Marvel Netflix show were better than the Disney ones, the Disney Marvel ones. Uh, yeah, not having Claire there, not having um, even Foggy's family feels kind of disrespectful. Not showing Foggy's funeral, I don't know why they did that. Um, for how they awfully treated this great character who has been around for over 60 years. and treated him like this, of course it feels disrespectful. Of course it feels like a stab in the back. Um, um, they could have waited like the last scene of the first episode where things were going good, seeing Matt, Karen, and Foggy and their firm, seeing Matt's life as Daredevil, doing vigilante stuff, and them exploring cases together. To me, we should have been seeing that throughout the episode instead of that awkward scene with at Josie's with this Benny dude, which I had to do something with this. Did not explain that very well. Yeah, the more I think about it, how inconsistent the show has been. I've seen videos lately how inconsistent Daredevil Born Again was. I'll link them on the card on this corner right here or down below. I'm not going to make a complete hour of it. You can watch those. I don't really want to go through the specific details. The Mayor Fist storyline, it was a good idea. I feel like they could have done much more with it instead of trying to be like a Trump allegory, which felt weird. Yeah, I felt like with this, there were just hits and misses with his character. I felt like his character was truly getting good right around the 6th episode, and the 9th episode felt like how he was in the Marvel Netflix version. Yeah, I was kind of surprised of their Man Fist, that diner scene at the first episode, how they were kind of getting along a bit despite the how they interacted last time in the season 3 finale in that penthouse, which was pretty odd. And also, I felt Muse and White Tiger were very wasted. They just showed up a couple episodes. Sadly, the White Tiger actor had passed away due to cancer. Rest in peace. But I definitely felt White Tiger, his character, could have been deserved better treated, instead of how it went after his trial, like how easily he got, he got killed off at the very end of the 3rd episode instead of trying to having some action scenes like defending his neighborhood and all that would have created some investment. But instead we got a corrupt cop wearing the Punisher symbol that just shot him in the head. Pretty disappointing. Also with Muse, yeah, he was shown hints and glimpses throughout the show until episode 6, where in episode 6 and 7 he was shown more. I love Muse as a character in the comics. He was really terrifying. He was such a threatening villain. But with the show, they barely scratched the surface with him. They failed his motivation poorly. His motivation was when he talked to Heather Glenn. I'm gonna talk about Matt and Heather after this, but that he started doing these acts because he failed Taekwondo or something, instead of like this incredible force of nature, how he was in the comics. Very disappointing. I like the action scene in the sixth episode. That was the only time that captivated me. Um, I love that action sequence a lot between Daredevil and Muse. I watched it twice. It was awesome. But then the seventh episode hit and Muse got killed off the most anticlimactic way possible by Heather Glenn. So Heather Glenn is the love interest for Matt Murdock in the season. Probably the most underdeveloped love story I've ever seen. She's a therapist who's kind of connected with uh, Fisk and Vanessa with their marriage issues. I did not care for that marriage counseling stuff. I felt like it was a waste of space. Um, yeah, I never cared for Heather Glenn, especially in the comics. I've always thought she was just that typical love interest. There's nothing really compelling about her. Pretty forgettable character, especially how it ended in the comics, which I'm not going to talk about here. Yeah, like every time I see Matt and Heather on screen, I always think there's just something off about them. Like, they're like, something's just like a misconnect. I just did not feel how I felt with Matt and Karen, Matt and Electra, and especially Matt and Claire. Like, it pales in comparison to those three um, potential love stories. Um, especially the talking about the supporting characters. There's this Kirsten McDuffie. Loved her in the comics. To me, I always thought Matt and Kirsten should have gone together. Like how it was in the comics, it was a pretty fun relationship. Kirsten really brings out this side of Matt we've never seen before in a positive way. And she's such a fun character. That's why I love about her. She's very spunky, flirty, spontaneous. In the show, doesn't really capture that. I feel bad for the actress. She barely does much in the show, unfortunately. She was just a lawyer friend. It's like that female, like a female lawyer, like in the Law and Order show. Nothing going on with her. You have this guy named Cherry. Weird name for a guy. There is nothing interesting about him other than the fact that he was a retired cop. I mean, what purpose does he serve in the story? I have no idea. I don't know why he's here. Stop trying to push him into the show. I don't care for him. Stop trying to make Jerry happen. He's not interesting. He's very inferior to Brett. To me, Brett should have been there. Brett should have been in the show because he was connected to Foggy and Matt. Especially after Foggy's death, we could have seen the bond between Matt and Brett and how they deal with that and dealing with cases and all that. To me, that's how it should have happened instead of adding this Cherry dude that who's just there. He's just like a filler character to add to the background. Um, um, the only supporting characters I liked are BB Uric and Daniel. They are the most compelling supporting characters. I know they don't like that BB report. It's like a TikTok type thing, but outside of that, I really liked her characterization. She's very likable. She's just like her uncle, who was sadly killed by Fisk, and she was investigating that. I really love that. Daniel was a really dope character. He was really cool. Uh, he was like the intern for Fisk's mayor campaign. Yeah, he was a pretty interesting character. I loved him every time he's on screen. Buck, he's literally a copycat of Wesley. Literally, he does like literally everything Wesley does, but without the depth. Yeah, I don't care if Buck. There's this lady who I remember from Gotham who used to be the commissioner. I don't remember her name. I don't care for her character either. Um, let's see the corrupt cop storyline. You know how they painted the Punisher in a bad way. It's supposed to reflect how it's going on with the real world, and also especially in the comics with the corrupt cops using the Punisher symbol to take advantage of the law to their own hands. I didn't feel it was. I mean, it was like hit and miss too. I felt like they could have been more of a threat, but instead they were. It was kind of had that mystery. It was kind of like a side B storyline. Um, yeah, Cole North in this was pretty badly characterized because in the comics he was never a corrupt cop. Um, he wasn't. He was a good cop who doesn't trust vigilantes that much, but he is always by the code. But with this, he willingly joined this anti-vigilante task force, being a corrupt cop, which feels very out of character, very out of character type writing for Cole North. Yeah, to me, Cole North deserved better than trying to make him this typical. Yeah, he's like that Denzel Washington character from Train Day. That's literally what they were trying to portray, to have that stereotype. That's what they were doing, which was painfully awful. Um, yeah, and with Karen, they didn't know what to do with her, so they just brought her up for San Francisco for no reason, and they brought her back in the last episode to help uh, Matt and Frank to deal uh, with Fisk, of course, but not literally. She came back because of with something with Bullseye releasing from prison. To me, Karen should have never left San Francisco. I don't know what they were thinking with that. To me, Karen should have stayed in New York to deal with the Fisk fiasco. Again, another missed opportunity. Um, to me, with the show, this show, I feel like there's a Daredevil show without Daredevil in it, um, which feels strange to me because that's why we're watching this and things like that. But I mean, the Daredevil suit in this is awesome. It looks a lot better than the Marvel Netflix version. It's a shame it got wasted and barely shown in the show. And also, why it looks a bit off is because they kept the original draft instead of redoing the entire thing just to save up the budget and time, which was poorly done in my opinion. Yeah, I felt like they could have done the redo the entire thing with the new creative team instead of keeping the original draft. Um, yeah, I mean, I do like the show, but I don't feel it's as good as the original one back on Netflix that came out 10 years ago. I feel like the show deserved better. I feel like us fans deserve better. I mean, we waited 7 years for this show to come back, and they did this. I mean, to me, they should have done better, in my opinion. What I did like was the Matt and Frank scenes in the fourth episode. To me, that was one of the best parts in the show. That was the saving grace of the show, especially in the finale too. I would say there were brutal scenes. Yeah, in the last episode, how Fisk, how he treated Gallo. I mean, that was insane. I mean, I didn't expect that at all. I wouldn't show it on here because that was that was something else. Like that was like very close to the Marvel Netflix version. Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I really. Yeah, especially with the Daredevil Muse fight in the episode 6. That was pretty brutal, and also that. And also that. That's how he beat up the guy who his wife had an affair with. That was pretty brutal too. Yeah, to me, despite in the midst of the mess, there are still good parts of it, and I hope by season 2, in the behind the scenes footage that I've noticed, I think it'll start looking pretty good. So I'm still hopeful. Yeah, I don't think it's the worst thing ever, like what most those YouTubers have been saying, like ranting for vengeance or any of the anti-woke creators online. That's why I'm forming my own opinion and just want to express it, because I'm a fan of this comic book world, and actually I wanted to get better and prove himself instead of want to tear it down and saying terrible things on it online. So anyway, guys, it's good talking to you. I'll see you guys later. Peace.